I'm Salvatore. I'm an addict and recovering. I went into treatment in 1989, and I haven't had to use drugs since then. So I'll be celebrating 29 years next month, clean. Wow. In rehabs, what they do is they give you a lot of tools that you can use in order to stay clean. One of the things that I learned in the rehab is about this disease. You heard a lot about this disease this week. And most people feel that, you know, it's a relief to know that you have a disease and it's not a chronic moral deficiency. You know, that explained a lot of things. It explained a lot of things why, you know, there'd be a party and there'd be drugs and alcohol and whatever, and everybody would go home after the party, and me, I'd be looking for more. I'd be going to the cop spot. It explained that thing, because I have this disease that has a craving for more all the time. I can't stop thinking about the drug. And being an addict it could apply to anything. It could apply to chocolate cake. That's why I try to stay away from chocolate cake. Because one piece is not enough. I have to have half the cake. It applies to a lot of things. So in the treatment facilities, the good ones anyway, that I use, they give you these tools, like they teach you like cognitive behavior, to change the way that you think, to change nothing so terrible that you have to use drugs or that you have to drink over it. Nothing so awful. I have an ex-wife in Staten Island with 2 kids. I have an ex-wife in Brooklyn with 2 kids, all right? If you had these problems, you'd be drinking too. You know, that's my attitude. Rationalization, justification, all these things, you know, I had to unlearn in order to open my mind to learn new ways to think and new ways to live. I always thought I was so brilliant. I always thought I was so talented. And if everybody did things the way I thought they should do them, insurance companies, banks, police, air polluting, everything was wrong in the world, you know, and I had all the answers. So if everybody did everything the way I thought they should do it, the world would be so wonderful. But in reality, if everybody did things the way I did them, you'd end up in rehab when you were 37 years old. So I had to change my way of thinking, and, you know, my way didn't work, obviously, and I had to learn and become open-minded. So these are the kinds of tools that you learn when you're in treatment, and you don't have to live like that anymore. That was one of the most important things. I don't have to live like that anymore. You know, I learned that. So you know, you all have tools that you use at work. You know, if you took those tools and you put them in the closet at home and closed the door, those tools are not going to be any good. You know, when you get out of treatment, you got to keep that toolbox with you open and use those tools. You know, that's what we learned. So, and one of the counselors, one of the staff members there in the treatment facility told me that one of the most important jobs that they have there is to try to get us, the clients, connected to some kind of an ongoing recovery program, so that we have the support that we need to stay clean, to stay sober, you know, continue sobriety, continue recovery. And some of those tools that they give us is Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous. There's a lot of other organizations. We heard about Smart Recovery. That's not sheet metal air conditioning and so forth. That's air rail transit. That's Smart Recovery is without any kind of God or spiritual higher power and so forth. So whatever it is, I think Webb's is going to talk a little bit about these other kinds of recovery programs. But what I'm going to talk about is what we had a little bit of a taste of yesterday. You know, when things started getting a little bit tumultuous over here, and all of a sudden we all just got behind that one person who was quitting smoking for 8 weeks, and you felt the joy in the room. It was almost like the room was uplifted when everybody was like, yeah, 8 weeks without smoking. I know I felt a spiritual uplifting in the room when we all got together and did something positive together. And so, so we can do together what I can't do by myself, all right? That's the whole premise for this here. And I'll prove that to you because when you have bookies or odds makers, they give home field advantage a couple of extra points, and you will know that. And why is that? Because when you got 30, 40, 50,000 people in a stadium screaming, the athlete or the trained athlete usually can feed on that and jump just a little bit higher, run a little bit faster, hit a little bit harder, you know, and so that's true. There's a power there that we got to tap into. We can tap into it.